Just say it, man. Don't make me ask 20 questions.
What is the point?
Get to the point.
Just say it already.
Welcome to the podcast. Listen to what filmmaker Robert Rodriguez has to say about the power of labels and identity upon your actions.
I've seen the phenomenon of creating a new label. A label on yourself, a label on a business. Now I know because I just did this project. He didn't know either. He just started, and he figured it out day by day. Most people never start. I mean, he succinctly encapsulated everything I try to say in my book, which was you just got to go. And identity is key. Identity is the main thing. All these people who are out there, I got to tell them this. If you are listening and there's something you're not getting in your life that you really want, it's not a matter of desire. You have the desire. There's a missing element. It was this thing where I told people, because they would come up to me a lot because I was making films really early on and say, I'm an aspiring filmmaker. You might hear that. I'm an aspiring comic, I'm an aspiring filmmaker. I go, stop aspiring. You're calling yourself an aspiring filmmaker. That's now your identity. You're always going to be aspiring. Just say you're a filmmaker. Take one of these cards and make a business card, even if you have to handwrite it, who you are. I'm a director. I did one. I had it printed up. Director, cinematographer, editor, composer. That's who I am. Now you're going to have to conform to that. And you're going to start making films.
Can you say more about labels?
Stop aspiring. Stop saying you're an aspiring filmmaker. People come up to you, I'm an aspiring filmmaker. The words we use are really strong. You're always going to be aspiring. You're never going to get there if you call yourself somebody who's on the journey.
Yeah.
Say you're a filmmaker. Make a card. I said, make a business card that says, I did, director, cinematographer, editor. Then what do you have to do? Just like the label, you have to conform to your identity. You have to go do that stuff now. And suddenly I have movies out. You go make movies because that's what a filmmaker does. What does an aspiring filmmaker do?
Aspires.
So this woman, friend of mine from Mexico, older woman, my doctor told me I have to stop smoking, so I'm not smoking right now. I said, you're going to go back to smoking because your identity is a smoker.
Yeah.
You're saying you're a smoker. You're going to go back. You have to change your identity. You have to say, I'm a non-smoker. I'm a non-smoker. Because then if you just identify yourself as that, you're going to then conform to your identity. And you're going to, what does a non-smoker do? They hate smoke. Makes them sick. Stay away from cigarettes. All right, I'll try that. I don't know if it worked because I didn't follow up. But right away I thought, hey, I should apply that to myself. It's a good thing to go checklist yourself every few years. Where are some places that I'm not doing that I can change the label? So you know what I did? And you got to go 180.
Yeah.
If you go by degrees, you ain't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
20%, 30% bullshit. 180. I went from being hate sport. Of course I hate working out. What do I say to myself all the time? I hate sports. I hate working out. I hate exercise. I love food. I have to change my identity. You know what I said? I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. By the next day, everything changed. What does an athlete do? Loves to work out. Makes time to work out. There is no time, but you make time when you love something. You eat right because you're an athlete. As soon as your identity changes, your label, you conform to that. So that's the power of identity and the words we choose to describe ourselves. I catch people all the time describing themselves, and I go, you got to change that. You're already out of the gate. You're talking about yourself in a way that's not going to helpful. Yeah, it's not going to helpful.
Besides the aspiring, which you mentioned, where people are handicapping themselves by labeling, using that term, within, say, filmmaking, are there other ways that you see people handicap themselves?
Anything that kind of takes you out of the game early, but by a belief you have.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I don't have access, or what? Everyone has access now. You have a phone. You can make actually a story on a phone, or you can write. Or I just say, whenever I hear anyone use some kind of negative connotation to something like, well, I want to make something, but I just don't have the time. It's like, there's no time. If you're waiting for time to happen, it's not going to happen. All the time's gone. There's no time. But we can make time.
Yeah.
We can make time for anything that we put our mind to. So don't give me that shit. That's like taking a hatchet and chopping off your left leg before the race. You literally did this to yourself.
Yeah.
You just hobbled yourself for no reason with these beliefs. And it's all you. You're your own worst enemy. You're like the one in the audience in your way. The biggest obstacle in your life is you. Always. But my kids, I thought, they're going to resent me again. I'm afraid they might resent me for having to do this $7,000 movie for 2 weeks and see how much hard work it is. They have their own interests. They're going to work on this one day and hate it. I'm prepared for that. Instead, they came at the end of the day all excited, their eyes all bugging out of their head. And they were like, Dad, the actor didn't show up. The script didn't match the location at all. And when we asked you in the morning what we were going to do, you said, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we thought,
flat tire.
This finally the movie that stumped my dad?
Yeah.
But then by the end, we figured it out. They were all excited. I went, oh, they don't realize that's the creative process. That's every day on a movie.
Yeah.
But it's also every day in life.
Yeah.
It's the same. And I realized on the making of that movie, so little of what I was teaching them was filmmaking. Mm-hmm. It was all life lessons. How to take on this impossible challenge. 2-man crew making a feature. This is the main thing about this, is that I told them, if I ever get hit by a bus, you all know what to do now, because we just did it. And it's all life lessons.
Yeah.
You get together, you make your plan, which is like your script. You make it as bulletproof as possible, so then you can go do your film shoot, so you can go take action. You watch it all fucking fall apart. It's like your projector thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when you roll up your sleeves and go, now let's take this chicken shit and make chicken salad. And it always comes out better. It always comes out better than your original plan.
Yeah.
Every time. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's life. You just learned the most valuable lesson of life on this little microcosm of what life is, which is a movie. Because remember, life and art should be the same.
Yeah.
You're writing a story, and you're writing your own story while you're doing it. The story of who you are and who you're going to become and what you're going to achieve. Mm-hmm. As you're writing a fake story, that's why they go together. Mm-hmm. That's why people identify with stories. We're writing our own story. So do you have doubts? Yeah, but I'm going to write past it. I want to write my story to where I'm not the guy that has doubts. So that's the power of creativity and labeling. And that's a label. Yeah. Am I going to say I'm a guy who has doubts? No, because then guess what? Now I have doubts.
Yeah.
And if there is a doubt, I can identify, I'm sure, like you just did, figure out a way past it right away. Mm-hmm. So that's why I would just say blanket. I don't have any doubts, because I don't want to be the guy that has doubts.
Yeah.
You have to make your business card first that says, a guy with no doubts. I'll add that to it. Somebody was right here and they said, wow, everything you're saying makes sense. You know, I've got a project. All the pieces are actually pretty much there. I just guess I'm not ready. And I said, that's going to be on your tombstone. Here lies so-and-so. He was never ready. Why is it that art you have to be ready for? In life, you didn't know you were going to get a flat tire. You didn't know you were going to go to work and be fired. You didn't know the fires were going to be raging. Every day you're like this, trying to move with you're not ready. You're not ready for anything life is throwing at you, but you become ready on the spot, right? Yeah. Why is it that we think art and life should not be the same? Why art has to be, you have to be ready before you can begin. Yeah. That's no relation. They should be the same. You're not going to be ready until you're almost done with a project, because a lot of the answers you need are not going to happen until you're on the journey. Yeah. And that's what keeps most people from doing it. You used to ask me, how do you get so much done? It's like, I set the bridge on fire and then I run across. Otherwise, it's not enough stake. You have a way out, like the last ones. Yeah. You had a way out. Yeah. Y'all didn't have that goal. Yeah. You'll take the escape route.
Yeah, it's easier.
But if you've burned the bridge, you've got to go.
Thanks for listening to this installment of The Podcram. I hope it contains something useful for you. If you enjoy these selections and are curious about the curator's own thoughts, you can check out my other podcast, Psychic Lube, where I share concise concepts meant to grease the intellectual gears and help get your creative juices flowing. Each episode is an ongoing collaborative project that welcomes listeners to expand or rebut its points by email or comment, the most interesting of which get incorporated through periodic re-recordings. As always, if you're intrigued by today's content, I encourage you to go listen to the full podcast in its original form directly from its creators so that their sponsors keep paying them to make stuff for us and nobody feels compelled to sue me for copyright infringement. Now, get off your phone and go do smart stuff. Have a productive day.